Welcome to the Info Product Creation Machine. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of what's ahead in this course. I'm literally going to show you how to create your own info product from scratch. This is probably one of the biggest hurdles that people that want to get into internet marketing have to face. Either you be an affiliate and sell somebody else's product, or you get your own product created. And that's where there's a ton of money, creating your own product. You get to keep everything. You don't have to worry about commission. But one of the hardest things to do is actually get that product created. How do you go about it? You know, a lot of people want to do marketing and they don't know from a technical standpoint how you actually do all this stuff. And then you're left with having to pay other people to do it for you. Well, what I'm going to show you, and Jeremy said that this is what he wanted to really help people with, is show them how to actually create that product themselves. So let me go through real quick. I just want to show you what is ahead, the topics that we're going to cover in this course. The next video you're going to see is getting started. This is where we're going to do brainstorming, qualifying ideas. How do you decide, get ideas for what you're going to do, and then qualifying those ideas, making sure that they're going to sell. Because even if you come up with what you think is a terrific idea, if nobody's going to buy it, then it doesn't matter how much traffic you send to it, you're not really going to make a lot of money off of it. So you want to qualify those ideas and make sure that even though you might love the idea yourself, you want to be profitable. So I'm going to show you how to pick ideas and then test them and qualify them and make sure that they're actually going to sell. And it's really simple. It's not very complex. It's not a difficult procedure. We're going to talk about where to find ideas, and I'm going to give you some resources for all of that. Then the third video is topic selection. What we'll do there is actually pick the product that we want to create and even go ahead and decide how we're going to deliver that, what we're going to bundle with it. And now what I'm going to do, because I've talked extensively with Jeremy on this, and he had a burden that we would not, just give people general ideas, because that's what a lot of people do. They give you a general idea, but they don't actually show you how to really implement it. What do you actually do? And that's one of the things we're going to overcome in this course. You're going to absolutely love this, because not only am I giving you ideas, but I'm going to show you some specifics. So one of the things that we're going to deal with is interviewing experts. And this is a way to create your own product without really even knowing something, because I'm going to show you how to get into a niche. When we look at getting started in topic selection, I'm going to show you that you can get into a niche that you don't know anything about. You can actually create a product even though you have no idea anything that's related to that niche. You could get into doing products for gardening. You could get into hunting or healthcare, whatever it is. You could be, 300 pounds and be having a product on healthcare and fitness. So you don't have to know the content yourself. Now, on things that you're going to get serious about, things that you're really going to try to make a lot of money at, eventually you do want to get into those and you want to learn about it. But right from the very beginning, once we pick that topic, and ideally you do select something that you're interested in. But again, you don't have to. And interviewing experts is one way that we can go about that. I'll show you all the particulars. I'm even going to show you how to prepare your audio. If you are going to present your product in an audio format, you're going to see some of the basic things that need to be done. And I'm going to show you free software. We'll look at Audacity. You can download this stuff and actually make a polished and professional audio product, even though you don't know anything about audio, okay? And by the way, that topic also deals with creating PDFs as bonuses. So what we're going to cover, let me go ahead and tell you what the next video would be. It's going to be creating video products. So I'm going to pretty much cover the basics. For example, PDFs, audio, and video products. And by the way, I did not really spell out for you what an information product is, just in case you might not be aware. An information product is something that relates information. You're selling knowledge, and it doesn't matter what that knowledge is. If somebody wants to know something, if they have a desire to know about something, and you know it, or you can find somebody who knows it, or you can get something created from somebody who knows it, then you've got something that you can market. You've got something you can make money off of. People are willing to pay for knowledge. They want to pay for information. So what we're going to deal with in this course is finding ideas, finding products that are going to be profitable, and then we're going to actually go through how to turn those ideas into real, tangible products. Now, those tangible products can be a download. It doesn't have to be a physical product. Downloadable products are very profitable, and anything that can be downloaded is really considered an information product, whether that is an ebook, an audio file, or a video like the one that you're watching right now. In fact, you're looking at an information product. Now, it's downloadable, but you can also take that same content and you can bring it into the world of 3 dimensions by either, printing out a report, take that PDF and print something out, or put that audio on a CD, or put that video, on a CD or a DVD. I'm going to show you how to do all of that. And in fact, the last topic that we're going to discuss is product fulfillment. How do you actually deliver that content? I'm going to go through all of your options. And through the course of this, we are going to look at some applications, some tools, things that you can download that are going to make your life a lot easier. Some of them are free. Some of them you do have to pay. And I want to give you a disclaimer right now. This course is only going to be 2 hours long. We're going to go through things pretty quick, but the use of the actual applications is not going to be in depth. But I do have a resource that I'm going to tell you about at the very end where you can go and you can get some in-depth training on the specific applications that we're going to be using. So if you're ready, let's go ahead, move on to the next video, and you're going to start learning how to create your own information product from scratch. In this video, we're going to go over what is probably the most difficult thing for you to tackle as an internet marketer as far as getting information products created, and that is getting started. What do you actually create? That's the question that we're going to answer here, or at least I'm going to show you how to answer the question. I can't answer the question for you because everybody's going to create, different kinds of things. But what we're going to cover here is brainstorming ideas. I want to show you how to actually write down more ideas than you'll ever be able to bring into fruition. Because right now you might be thinking, some of you are like, okay, yeah, I've got an idea of something that I want. Others of you are like, I don't know what in the world I would create. I have no idea. I want to get into internet marketing, but I want a product of my own, but I don't know what I should do. Well, we're going to deal with both of those questions. How do you go about getting a product that is going to work? And possibly, maybe you've got an idea for something that you want to create, but maybe that idea wouldn't be good because it's not going to make any money. I'm going to show you how to qualify those ideas. So I'm going to show you how to get ideas. I'm going to show you how to qualify them so that we get the idea that is most profitable. And if you can't think of any idea even after you go through this brainstorming stuff, I'm going to also show you questions that you can ask yourself to get a lot of ideas. But even more than that, like I said, if you can't even think of an idea, I'm going to show you some sites that I call idea magnets. And then I'm also going to show you how you can find people to help you bring that into fruition. And I'm not talking about, hiring somebody out to create the product for you, because this course is really all about you doing that. But I'm going to show you how to find people to get ideas for content. So I'm talking about finding people that can help you accomplish the creation, the idea that you've got, because maybe you come up with something that you're not really familiar with that niche. You come up with an idea that you'd love to do, but you don't know anything about it. I'll show you how to find people that do. Then we're going to go over some resources. I got a list of things for finding ideas and things like that. And then I've got an actual action step. I want to try to help you note specifically what you should do at the end of each module. And that's what the action steps are all about. Okay, so the first thing is brainstorming. And this is really simple. All you need to do is answer some very simple questions. The first one is, if I didn't have to work, what would I enjoy doing every day? So what could you replace that work time with that you wouldn't get fatigued, with? What could you do every day and not get bored with it? In other words, what are you passionate about? I mentioned in the first video that I'm going to show you how to create something even if, you're not familiar with the niche. And that is, what we're going to do here. But ideally, if you can pick something that you're going to really be interested in, and even if you don't really know how to do it, that is the best scenario. If it's something that you're passionate about and you can turn around and make money with it, I mean, that's a great marriage. Let's say that you were into skydiving. Well, what if you could make money skydiving? What if you didn't have to necessarily, pay to skydive, but you could actually make money and your job would pay you to do your skydiving? Whatever content you could create for that. That's the kind of thing that we're talking about. So if you didn't have to work, what would you like to do every single day? And then ask yourself, what do I know? And this could be a hobby or it could be work. Maybe you've got that 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 job, but on your job, you do something specific. You've got skills, you've got talents that are specific to your job. You need to write that down. Now, that doesn't mean that, we're going to definitely use it. But what we're doing here is brainstorming. We're getting ideas. And believe it or not, some people can take their regular, mundane, everyday work skills that they have, and they can turn that around and they can make an information product. Let me give you an example. Insurance is one of those things that is a little bit, cloudy for a lot of people. If you happen to be an insurance agent, then you know some things. You have some knowledge that you could sell. That's information. You could create an information product in that niche, and voila, there you go. You're making money off of what you know from work. Not just, selling insurance, which I'm sure is very profitable, but it's more profitable if you can sell that information. Now, I want to mention at this point, again, we're brainstorming for ideas, and these ideas are in niches. These ideas are in little categories. We're not specifically going towards a product at this point. Okay, we're not pinpointing it. We're actually going to do that in the next video. Right now, we're thinking about skills that we have. We're thinking about hobbies that we have, something that we would like to do, but it's pretty general at this point. Okay, and then the third question is, what do my friends know? And you're going to ask the same things that you're beating yourself up about, that you're trying to rack your brain, okay, to think about. You want to do the same thing on your friends. Bounce those questions off your friends, because you can get great ideas from them, and they might even be the person that will help you get that thing created. Maybe your friend knows how to play the guitar and you don't know. But you would like to create an information product on learning how to play the guitar. Your friend may very well be able to help you get that accomplished. So those are ideas that are related specifically to you, things that you can easily, think up yourself. I'm sure you probably have several already. But what if you don't? What if you are actually a troll and you sit on the couch and do absolutely nothing all day long? Guess what? I can still help you out here. There are tons of places that you can go, and you can get just more ideas than you can literally ever be able to create. So lack of idea is not going to be the problem here. That's not going to be a factor. The only factor is going to be motivation, you actually going out and doing it. And near the end of this video, I've got a slide specifically for resources, and you're going to see a ton of those. Really, a lot of what that is, I'll just give you kind of a heads up on it, is magazines, bookstores. Like, go to Barnes & Noble, look around there. That is full of ideas on creating products. Just if you can get an idea for the niche. And that's really the best way to do this, is to focus on the niche first, because you need to find a popular niche, and then you can, figure out what kind of product inside of that you want to fill. And the reason that the niche thing is important is because you want to make sure that you have a large audience first. Basically, if you create a specific product within a popular niche, then you have just, tons of people that you can sell to, and then you can diversify and create other products fulfilling all of their needs. But justifying the niche is the first and foremost. And here's some questions that'll help you to be able to decide. This is how we qualify the niche. Are there any magazines for that niche? If there is a magazine, and again, you can go to Barnes & Noble, you can go to your local library, even go to Walmart. If there's a magazine for the niche, then that means there's lots of people interested in it, because they don't go to the trouble of producing a magazine, for something that people aren't really interested in. And if you go to Walmart or Barnes & Noble or the library and you see several magazines for something, it's the same niche, then that tells you, okay, this is a serious niche. For example, they've got Guitar World, Guitar Player, Guitar Magazine. I mean, tons of them, all geared towards guitar, playing guitar. That tells you there's a lot of people that are interested in that, and they're willing to spend money on a magazine. So if you can create an information product that's catering to that niche, you're going to make some money. Also, are there online forums for the niche? That's another thing. It's really popular nowadays to throw up, a group of people, they're interested in something, and they throw up a forum, and a lot of people go there. So you can find out if there is forums for the niche, and then you can visit those forums and find out how many users they've got. Because again, you don't want to create a product that people aren't going to be interested in. Even if it's a fantastic product, it's got, wonderful production quality and everything. If people aren't interested in it, it's not going to sell. So this is the first and foremost thing, is qualifying the niche itself. A third thing that you can do is go to Word Tracker. You can also use AdWords and see if there's traffic for it. Find some keywords for that niche and do some searches. Check out the volume. How many people are actually looking for this? That kind of information is vital. It helps you make a decision on whether or not you're going to actually go with this. And again, we're qualifying the niche itself right now. Another thing that I'm going to throw in here, this is not necessarily qualifying the niche itself, but this kind of helps you to be able to determine if you're going to be able to get some assistance in the creation of this product. The reason that I say that is because you might pick a niche that you, again, don't know anything about. You might pick one that you don't have a friend that knows anything about it. So what you want to know is there a way to contact people that do know about this that can help you get it created? And one of those, obviously, you can do the outsourcing thing. Go to Elance, go to Rent-A-Coder, go to Guru.com, those kind of places. But what's even more helpful a lot of times is to go to article sites. Find an article that's been written by somebody and see if you can contact that person, because chances are, if they've taken the time to, write an article about a particular niche, granted, they're likely trying to promote their own website and possibly their own products. But a lot of these people, if you were to send them an email and say, I'm doing some research and I'd like to include you, maybe do an interview or something like that, a lot of them will be willing, especially if you're going to go ahead, and tell them you'll give them a plug or something for their website. But we're kind of accomplishing several things here. Number one, we're justifying the niche because we're seeing if people have written articles in that niche, and we're getting a contact of somebody that could conceivably help us out later on. And right along with that, not only article sites, but also blogs and forums. Forums, obviously, very good to visit to, see if the niche itself is justified, but then also visit those forums to see who the popular posters are. Those are the kind of people that can help you. And again, with the whole forum thing, the forums are kind of a community, so are blogs. And these people get together, they like what they're talking about, and they enjoy getting together and, discussing it. A lot of times, people that are frequent to comment on blogs, people that post in forums a lot of times, they'll be more than happy to help you out with something. And if you let them know, send them a private message or something, let them know I'm doing some research or I'm putting something together. How much you disclose of that is kind of up to you. A lot of people, if you tell them out up front, I'm going to create this information product and sell it, then they might say, well, you're going to have to give me some money or something for me to help you out with this. So it's up to you if you want to do that. You can tell them, yeah, here's $100. I'll help if you could just help me out with this, or you can tell them I'll give you a percentage of the sales, however you want to work it. But it's entirely up to you how much you disclose of that. Let's take a look. Here's some resources. Again, a lot of these to get a bazillion ideas, more ideas than you'll ever be able to handle. ehow.com, mygoals.com, soyouwanna.com. That's a really good one. Particularly what they do there is people, they want to learn how to do something, and people will actually post here's how you do it. This is a great place to go to get ideas for what people are wanting to know. So there's no point in you going out, you don't have to go out and spend a bunch of money doing research. You don't have to even spend a bunch of time doing research on what people want to know about. You go to these sites and it's there for you. You can see what people are interested in and what they want to know. All you have to do is create it, and they'll be practically standing in line in order to buy it. Videolearning.com, ebay.com. eBay's got a slew of tools on there telling people what is hot. Go to check out the eBay Pulse. That'll tell you what people are looking for on eBay. So they give you tons of marketing research there. Magazines.com. That's just, it's a list of magazines. So is MrMagazine.com. Just a list of magazines that people, I think they go there and they subscribe actually. But I use it for market research because I can go there. I can see, I don't have to actually drive down to Barnes & Noble. I can see what magazines are there, and you pick your niche based on that. So I could literally this afternoon sit down and go through. I could just go to these websites without having any clue of any idea of any kind of product I want to create. I could go there, and in probably an hour, I could have 2 or 3 dozen niches, different niches, written down on paper. And it would be, things that I'm actually interested in, that maybe I didn't even know that I was interested in. Also, Word Tracker. I want to mention that one because you want to go there again. You want to see if there is search volume. That's another way that we can justify or qualify a particular niche. And you can do the same thing with AdWords. In the next video, we're actually going to do a little bit of this. I'm going to pick out some things and do a little bit of research, and then show you how to fine tune it to make that actual decision on, what product you're going to create. And when you come out of this, the beauty of this is you're going to have several different ideas, and you're going to focus on a specific niche and a specific product in the niche. But you're going to have, along with that, you've done a lot of research, and you're going to have just tons of ideas. After you do the first one, you focus on that first one, you get that product created. After you get that done, you've already got your ideas for probably the next, couple of years, unless the market just totally changes. You've already got your ideas. So you just move on to the next one, focus on it. And this is how internet marketers are really successful. Focus on a product, get it created, launch it. And while that's going and you're generating money from it, then you work on the next one. And then you get that done, and you get that created and launch it. And then you've got 2 sources of income. And I'm serious, this is probably the most difficult part, is figuring out what to make. It's not so much that it's difficult to think of it. What's going to be difficult for you after you go through and you do these, you do the steps that I've mentioned here, the hard part is going to be deciding which one to go after first. That's going to be the real hard part. But then after this, most of it's technical, and we're going to deal with a lot of that. Action steps for this video is real simple. I just want you to do the research that we've talked about and make a list of 5 to 10 niches, different niches. Okay, not products. We're going to deal with the specific product in the next video. Right now, we're just dealing with the niche. Now it's time to move. We're going to hone in on an actual product, but what I want to do in this video is walk you through the process. Here's what we're going to deal with. I'm going to show you a niche selection chart. This is going to kind of help you factor things in and qualify or disqualify specific niches. Then we'll look at selecting the actual product. I'll show you some resources, and then I've got some action steps again for you in this video. Okay, so here is the chart first. And what you can do, I would suggest probably creating this inside of Excel, just to give you a nice convenient way. As a matter of fact, I'll probably go ahead and do that in this video. I'll create one inside of Excel. These are the things that we want to factor in. You're going to basically score each niche idea that you had. So in the last exercise, we wrote down 5 to 10 different niches. And we're going to run each of these through these different factors here and score them accordingly. For example, word tracker traffic. Here, you can actually enter the result that you got on the word tracker when you did the research with that. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a second. You can enter the result value there. And then for magazine, just put a 5 if they did have a magazine. And if they had multiple magazines, it doesn't matter. As long as there's a magazine for that particular niche, that's good. So after you do your research, if there is a magazine for it, put a 5 there. If there are forums for it, online forums, put a 5 there. If you have personal knowledge about this specific niche, then you're going to put a 10 there. If you don't have knowledge, obviously you just leave it a 0. But if you have personal knowledge in that niche, put a 10. If there's a personal interest, put a 5. Does this particular niche have year-round sales? That's a 10 also. If it doesn't, then you'll leave it at 0. The reason this is so important is because it's not bad to create, a product for, something that's just released at Easter or Christmas or something like that. But I don't recommend that you do it for your main information product. You want something that is going to sell year-round. So if this particular niche that you thought about happens to, be seasonal for whatever reason, like maybe it's skiing or something like that, put a 10 there for year-round sales. Okay, and if it's not, if it's seasonal, put a 0. Are the buyers impulsive? This is actually something that's pretty important too. And you'll find this out by checking out the magazines and the forums. You'll find out if it's an impulsive niche, because ideally that's what you want. Put a 5 there for impulsive. If they're not impulsive, leave it at 0. Does it have high ticket items in that particular niche? Again, here, this is not a determining factor, okay? But it's something that we want to look at with everything else. We want to give that some credibility. That doesn't mean that you write it off if it doesn't have high ticket items. But if it does have high ticket items, then that's something that we want to weigh in there. And again, you're going to give that 5 points if it does. What that means is your information product, you might be selling it for, $35. You might be selling it for $135. But does this offer you the potential for back-end sales? Is there some product that you could market to these people after they buy your information product that is going to be like, $1,000? Is there some way to make even more money on a high-ticket item? And what we're going to do is add all of that up and total it up again for each niche that you wrote down. And I suggest that you do this in Excel or, write it down on paper, whatever you're more comfortable with. But you want to be able to track all of that and compare, because this is going to disqualify some of the niches and it's going to qualify others. So let me go ahead and pull up an Excel spreadsheet. What we've got here is an Excel spreadsheet that I like to use to qualify, visually. You get to qualify niches. And I'm going to make this available to you because it does have, in addition to the layout here, it does have some formatting, conditional formatting that kind of makes it easy for you to pick out, which one is the niche that you're going to go for. And just for fun, I decided I would go ahead and pick some things. So I wrote down really quick 5 things following my own rules. I wrote down 5 things and I'm going to type those in here. These are different niches: horses, hunting, guitar, parasailing. And again, these are just things that I came up with really quick. Woodworking, just off the top of my head. Things that I either have a personal interest in or that I've done them, things like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we actually go through and do the research with this, and it's pretty quick and easy. Let's go ahead with Word Tracker first. I'm going to head over to my browser. Let's go to Word Tracker. And you don't really, picking the right keyword is kind of important, but it's not like critical. But typically whenever you think of a niche, you're going to, there's going to be certain keywords that pop into your head. And obviously the more time you spend on this, the more accurate things are going to be. But what is most critical is because really when we get into a general niche, you'll find as you start doing this that all niches are divided into sub niches, and I mean, you can just get as finite as you want to, really. So let's do horses first. I'm just going to do horse, and we'll go ahead and click the query there. It'll take a little while for it to go through. And let me take a look at what's next. Horses, hunting, guitar. Again, what we're going to do, let me spread that out a little bit. What we're going to do is write in the statistics for what the word tracker comes up with. And by the way, the word tracker data has been improved recently in relation to Google. So you're getting, there it comes now, you're getting some more accurate data. And I'll just go ahead and click horse, the top one. Again, I mean, look at this. I've come up with niche ideas already. Horse health, horse training, horses for sale, horse pictures. You could create an information product on horse pictures, how to take horse pictures, all kinds of stuff here. And these are all, again, sub niches. And let's take a look at traffic. Okay, anything really, if it's over 1,000, it's pretty good. But right here, let's just go with our keyword. We're not gonna, get some of the, and I apologize, there are some pretty interesting things on the screen there, but let's just go ahead and grab this. This number, by the way, those of you that do not know, this number is given over a period of 110 days. So there were 7,836 searches in the database over a period of 110 days. So let's go ahead and paste that. There we go. And now let's go back and let's do hunting. Hunting. The first, if you do it over here, again, that'll give you a bunch of related keywords and ideas. If you do it here, it'll just give you the specific keyword. There'll be other words with it, but okay, hunting. Again, this is something that is pretty hard to, there are so many different things that you could diversify this to. Turkey hunting, deer hunting, mushroom hunting in Indiana. How look at that specifically. So a lot of stuff, but we're going to go just off of the keyword that we picked. And we'll paste that over here. Again, I'm going to match the formatting. And I think I'm going to have to stop pasting this in because, yeah, it looks like that one's working, but the other one wasn't. Okay, guitar. Let's do guitar. And obviously any keywords that you want you can throw in there, but even if you want multiple. Again, here with guitar, going to be a bazillion things that you could divide this up. Guitar tabs, guitar itself. We'll just go with that. That's what we typed. 4017. And this gives you an idea of traffic. Parasailing. $156. Look at that. Pretty low. And you can see what's happening down here, the formatting that's going on. The last one is woodworking. $551. Again, we're going specifically off the keyword. 551, is that what I said? Yep. Going specifically off the keyword. Okay, now, next step is magazines. So we're going to head over to magazines.com. And here, incidentally, I didn't show you this in the other video, so I'll go ahead and show you now. You're not going to believe the amount of magazines that, just the categories are crazy. Look at this. These are top categories right here. They're kind of doing some research for you. They're showing you top categories. Okay, so if you got anything that's in there, by all means, go for it. All categories. Notice I've got horses as a category. That's a good sign. So let's go ahead and click on horses. And look, I've got a ton of magazines for horses. Okay, so horses definitely gets a 5. While we're here, let's do hunting. I already saw that there was a hunting. Yeah, there's hunting right there, so that gets a 5. Guitar, I think we know that's going to get a 5. Whether they have a category for it, I'm not sure. Let's look. Music. Yeah, ton. Guitar player, guitar world, acoustic guitar, a ton of stuff. Even more, well, these are all music, so they're not specifically guitar, but definitely that. Now, see, parasailing, I threw that in there because it's something that I came up with in my brainstorming. I was interested. I don't think they're going to have a category. So I'm going to type in parasailing and see if anything happens to come up. But I came up with that idea. I've got kind of an interest in it. I think it would be kind of neat. I've never done it, never looked into it. And it's not looking good. No search results, okay? So that's a 0. Woodworking. And what we have to do as a responsible internet marketer is not, just do what we want to do the most, is do what's going to sell. Okay, woodworking, lots of stuff there. So that gets a 5. Now, forum. This is actually pretty easy to do. All you have to do is take your keyword. I'm going to go ahead and create a new. Let's go ahead and go to Google. All you have to do is take the same keyword and put it together with the word forum. Horse forum, the horse forum, forum.horse.com. So yeah, this is a big yes. The first page is full of horse forums. That gives me a 5. I think I can tell you most of this is a no-brainer. Hunting forum. And that's really the gist of one thing that I want to get across to everybody here, is that there is no lack of ideas. Do not let that be your excuse. Every single one of these, when I see that there is a forum, acoustic guitar, every single one of these, when I see that there is a forum for something, that is a niche that is dying. It is screaming out for products. Parasailing. Now this one, I don't know about this one. I want to go parasailing. Kind of read a little bit about that. Now, I don't see any forums on parasailing. What I'm seeing is general forums that mention parasailing. And you can kind of get that from the titles here, right? This is a general forum that has a topic in it on parasailing. That's not what we're looking for. So that's a 0. And by the way, the results that you get here, I mean, you don't have to go exactly by them, but, well, you'll see here when I get to the end. Okay, plenty of woodworking forums. Now, here is a pretty big determining factor. Personal knowledge. I have none for horses. For hunting, I have a little bit, so we're going to factor that in. Guitar, yes, I do, so we're going to factor that in. Parasailing, absolutely not. Woodworking, I happen to. I used to do a little bit of woodworking, so I'm going to factor that in. Personal interest, basically all of these. This is all going to be a 5. Interested in all of those. Year-round sales. Horses, I don't know enough about it to know if that is the case. I mean, I imagine you can buy horses year-round, but like in some places in the winter, it might get a little slow. Well, but we're not looking to actually sell horses. That's kind of misleading. It's the product. So yes, that would definitely be. Hunting, yes. Guitar, yes. Parasailing. See, that's another one that's kind of tricky. Depends on your call, because during the winter, people might not really be interested in going parasailing. But I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and say yes for right now, and definitely for woodworking, yes. Impulsive. I don't think horse buyers are impulsive, and a lot of this, remember, is speculation. I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong, but it's just speculation. Impulsive. I would say no. Guitar players, I think, are, because I am one. Parasailing, probably not. Woodworkers, probably not. High ticket items with horses. Yeah, I would say that there is high ticket items, the horses being included, but I think they have a lot of like the saddles and stuff like that that can get pretty expensive. Hunting, definitely. Guitar, yes. Parasailing, yes. Woodworking, yes, because they've got, all the equipment and all that kind of stuff. So this spreadsheet, incidentally, it'll do up to 10, and if you know how to use Excel, you can even extend that out farther. But we're going to focus on these right here, and the overwhelming evidence based on search criteria is horses. That's the dark green one. Now, here's the thing. You have to take into consideration that the niche, the keyword that you're looking for, has several different possible things that people could be looking for. If they just typed in the word horse, you might not want to factor all of that in. So this is a good indicator of traffic, though. This is telling me that there's a ton of traffic for horses. What I might want to do, though, is take this out, and let's temporarily, we're just going to go ahead and delete that. And now look at what the numbers say. Okay, now we're looking at guitar or hunting or woodworking. And the reason that those stand out more is because I've got personal interest, personal knowledge in those. And that's a pretty big determining factor, is you want to be able to, if there's something that you, again, personally know about, have experience with, then that carries a lot of weight, because that's, you'll be able to possibly create something without having to recruit somebody else to help you out with it. So that carries a lot of weight. So what this is going to tell me is horses gives me a lot of traffic, but guitar, hunting, or woodworking are probably going to do just as well, really. Parasailing obviously got disqualified. You might have several of these that get disqualified. But at this point, if there's kind of a tie, it's just a matter of you picking one. Just, flip a coin, do whatever you want to do. So that is the chart. That's how we determine, that's how we qualify or disqualify things. And then the next step for us is to specifically get an idea for a product. So we have picked our niche, whatever that's going to be. And I'm going to go ahead, you know what, I'll go ahead and do guitar just to make things simple. I'm going to pick guitar, and what we want to do now is pick an actual product. And to do that, we can visit forums, look at what people are looking for. And by forums, I mean visit some of those forums that you found on Google when you typed guitar forum. Check some of the forums out. See what people are posting about. A forum is an invaluable research for marketing, because there are people just basically standing there saying, please make me a product on XYZ. You just go through the list there and it's a piece of cake. Check AdWords to see what people are advertising in that niche, and also SpyFu. That's a real good way to do some research. And SpyFu in particular, you can go there, type a keyword, and it'll show you ads for competitors. So you can see specifically what they're advertising for. And let's just go ahead. I tell you what, this is kind of impromptu, but let's go ahead and go to SpyFu. You can do this with AdWords too, which is why I mentioned it. But some of you might like the way SpyFu does this. Let's do same keyword, okay? Now, obviously, for advertising purposes, things like that, you get a little more specific. But for just the justification of the general theme, just the one keyword will do us pretty good. Okay, Guitar Center. So they're selling guitars. They're selling guitars, so are they. They're doing a review. A lot of people selling guitars, lessons, MP3s, tablature. For those of you that are not in the know in the guitar world, tabs here stands for tablature, and that is guitar music. So you can read and play a song without knowing how to actually read music. Again, guitar tab. Okay, so selling guitars and guitar tablature, very hot. So that's one thing that we can do. Again, you can do the same thing on AdWords. That's our next step. We want to select a specific product. Here's our resources, word tracker to get an idea of the volume. AdWords, on Google, you can do the same thing there. Really, Google offers a lot of free information, so it's very valuable there. A lot of people don't like, it's kind of cumbersome, so a lot of people don't like the way it actually works. So that's why I mentioned the other tools here. But SpyFu.com, again, a fantastic tool. So what we've got to do is the niche research. You wrote down, in the last video, action step was write down 5 to 10 niches. Then you're going to go through and you're going to disqualify all but one niche. Now, that does not mean you throw that away. If you're writing it down on a piece of paper or if you're going to track it in Excel, keep it, because that's telling you another avenue that you can go down perhaps later on. The way to make a lot of money is not necessarily with one product, it's with several. And you can diversify. If you don't want to, maybe you don't want to throw all of your eggs into one basket as far as picking one niche. Maybe you want to diversify and get into a couple of different ones. So don't just toss that information. But for right now, we want to disqualify all of them except one. And we're going to focus on that one niche. And then we go through basically the whole process again. You go through it focusing on a specific idea or product within that niche. So now you're going to sit down, with the mentality of, this is the niche that I'm going to get into. For example, guitar. And you're going to start brainstorming ideas. Music for a guitar, or guitar music itself. People like to buy guitar music. Guitars, selling guitars, how to learn how to play guitars, learn specific skills in playing the guitar. You could sell some stuff on chords or scales, just tons of different stuff. And this is a perfect example of the reason that it's beneficial to have a personal interest and personal knowledge in the niche, because some of you, if you're not familiar with playing guitar, if you're not familiar with playing any kind of music, I can think of things to sell: chords, scales, tablature, accessories, how to play the guitar, all these kind of things I can think of off the top of my head because I'm specifically familiar with that particular niche. So you can do the same thing with things that you're familiar with. That's why it's so critical. But we're going to go through the same process and basically just come up with an idea. And it doesn't matter at this point. The delivery format does not matter. PDF, which is something that they can read on screen, an audio clip, I'm going to show you how to do that, and a video clip. Basically, any type of product, we can just, picking the delivery format, that's totally secondary. I can do, let's just do lessons, okay? Lessons, learn how to play the guitar. I can do a PDF that teaches people how to do that. I can do a PDF maybe with an accompanying CD so that they can hear the exercises. I can do a video showing them how to play the guitar. So any product that you pick, it can be turned into any of those formats. So the format is not critical. It's not important in the slightest at this point. Most important is getting that particular idea picked. So there's your action steps. Now it's time to get into actually having your content created. And the method that we're going to talk about is interviewing experts. Basically, your entire content is going to be, at least the substance of it, can be created for you. Having to actually put together content, and whether you do this as a PDF or an audio or video product, having to put the content together is probably what's going to take the most time. So the tactic that I'm going to show you here streamlines the whole process. It really, literally, in one afternoon or in one evening, you can have the material that you're going to need right there before you. And it has to do with interviewing experts. What we're going to discuss in this video is how to find those experts, how to plan your interview, and that goes for, from a technical standpoint, and also what kind of questions are you going to ask? How are you going to get your material? We're going to look at recording the call if you happen to do, and really I probably shouldn't have called that, I probably shouldn't have labeled it recording the call, but it should be recording the conversation or the interview, because you can do this over the phone. You can do it, on the internet. You can do it even via email if you had to, and you can also do it in person. And then we're going to look at some resources, and I've got some action steps up ahead for you as well. So finding the expert, this is probably the most actual work that you're going to have to do. You're going to visit some forums. Again, all of the stuff related to the niche. Visit some forums, check out article sites and blogs, and you find an expert. It does not necessarily have to be the person who runs the blog, for example. A lot of times people, maybe in a specific niche, they run a blog, and a lot of times they're not, the so to speak, expert. They're just somebody that's interested and they blog about it, and there might be people that make comments there that know a ton of information about that particular niche. So what you're going to do is go through there and read the comments. You're going to see who knows, who actually knows what's going on, who offers advice, who seems to be very helpful, that can relate information and obviously has a desire to relate that information. So you're going to visit forums again, see who's posting a lot, and a lot of times the forums actually make that pretty easy. They show the number of posts that people make. So just kind of go through there, check out the topics, see who's replying, and you'll see these people. I mean, seriously, they have like nothing better to do because they're on that forum all the time, and they'll, some people have like thousands of posts. Check out article sites. I'm going to give you a list of article sites, or actually I'm going to give you a website that has several articles on it. Ezine Articles, very popular one. Check out, read the articles there, and a lot of times they've got contact information for the person who wrote it. And you'll be able to contact these people and, probably work out a deal with them again without really costing you anything. A lot of them, they're on the forums, they're on the blogs, they do the articles. A lot of them just do it either for recognition or just because they happen to like that niche, and they'll a lot of times be more than happy to sit with an interview with you and let you ask them questions, and they'll do all kinds of stuff. One thing that's good about this, if you don't want to build, if you're going to build your whole product off of one person, then yeah, you might feel kind of obligated to reimburse them. But if you're going to do like 5 or 6 people and compile all of that stuff, then you're basically an editor at that point. So that's another good way to get a lot of information thrown together very quickly. Also, if it comes down to it, you can post jobs on Elance, Rent-A-Coder, and Guru. Just go there, say, this option is for if you've got money that you want to spend and have somebody do it for you. Just go there and say, I want somebody to, write me a 2,000-word report on whatever this niche is. If you do go that route, you might want to tell them, this could possibly be an ongoing relationship, so give me a good price. And, later on down the road, you might pick a different product and have them create that for you as well. Okay, so that's how we find the expert. And then we've got to plan the interview. What you want to do is go to Google, go to the news section, type in your keyword, see if there's any current events, any current news related to that specific niche. If there is, you're going to write that down because that's something that you might want to ask them about. If you're going to do interviews, really are great. And to be honest, there have been people that have made a good bit of money just off of finding the right person to talk to and getting the right questions, sitting down and recording. And I mean, literally taking that conversation that was recorded, and that's it. That's their product. And they've made good money off of it. So this is a very serious technique here. Visit forums. Find out what questions people are asking on the forums. So if you get all your ducks in a row here, you'll notice that you're going to forums a lot. That's, again, a gold mine of resource there. Go there, and if you got the right mentality, you know the information that you're looking for, you're going to be able to save yourself some time because you're kind of checking out all of this stuff as you're there. So you're going there, you're finding out, who posts a lot, you're taking a look at the topics. A lot of times, especially like if you, let's say, go to a forum page, the first page on a forum, they've got categories there. look how many posts are in each one of those categories, and that'll tell you, okay, where do I want to start? If there's a bazillion posts in one category, start there, check it out, see why people go there so much. And then a lot of times what you get is on the first page with all the questions, there'll be a question there that has like a keyword that stands out. Search the forum for that keyword. If you find that a lot of people are posting about that, then ask the question. Because later on, when we actually put all this together on a sales page, you want to include things. You want to include information like that. Like we address this. And I mean, that's not how you're going to word it. But let the people know when they see your sales letter that we address this particular issue. And that's going to make your product more desirable. Visit related websites, and this could even be competition. Okay, check out their fact pages, frequently asked questions, see if they have a news section, and that could be, maybe something is not available in the general news, but it is available related to that specific company. They post their own news, and there's something that is of interest within the niche. So check out, see if they have a news section, and if they have any of their own articles. A lot of times, bear in mind, controversial things, that causes a lot of buzz. So if there's something controversial in the niche, look for that. And if there's articles or any other, information on that you can ask them, that's great. As a matter of fact, what's really good, if you can get two people in a niche that are opposed, they have opposing views, interview them together. That will be a hot product, I guarantee it. Okay, so now we've got your interview all planned out. You've written down all these questions that you want to ask the person. You need to record the call. Number of ways that we can do this. And again, I did say record the call, but it's like record the conversation. If you do an actual call, you can use Skype and Pamela to record that conversation. I'll give you the links to those products. If you're not aware of what Skype is, and I imagine most of you are, this is voice over IP technology that allows you to talk through your computer, connect over the internet, and talk to someone on the other end. They can be talking on their computer, or they can be talking on the telephone. Here is the thing with that. If you can Skype them and go computer to computer, and you both have a pretty good microphone, your recording can sound almost studio quality, okay, depending on how good your microphone is. So in other words, the bandwidth, the frequency response, and I happen to be an audio buff, so I can tell you all this from experience. The frequency response through Skype is much better than what's on the telephone, okay? Pamela is an add-on. It's a plug-in to Skype that allows you to do that recording. There are ways around it, but this is the simplest solution. You do have to buy Pamela. Skype is free. You do have to buy Pamela. But anyhow, it does the recording for you. That is the actual phone solution that I recommend. In fact, even if you're going to call somebody on a regular telephone, I recommend that you don't do it on the phone. Do it with Skype, because then at least your side of the conversation. You know how you're listening to a radio program or something? The DJ sounds great. The person they're talking to sounds like they're on the phone. That's okay. It's acceptable. But that's what's going to happen if you do it with Skype and you're talking to them and they're on a regular telephone. You're going to sound great. They're going to sound like they're on a telephone. You can also use an MP3 recorder for live interviews. I've got one of these. I've got this is a pretty nice model, actually. This is a Zoom H2. It's a real nice handheld recorder. You can just sit it there. It has a microphone, a couple of microphones in the front and a couple in the back. And I'm even going to flash up a picture here for you. There you go. That will allow you to record the entire conversation. And here's the thing with this. A couple of routes that we can take, really. You can record everything, and then, like I said earlier, turn it around and actually put it on CD or make it an MP3 download, and they can take it just like that. Or maybe you're going to record several people, 3 or 4 of them. Record the entire conversation, take it back home with you, and then you can turn around and kind of transcribe it. Put that information, put that content into a PDF. You can compile it that way. Listen to what everybody's saying and compile all the information. And if you do it like that, it's like almost like you're actually the author of a book, and you might not even know anything about that niche, but you're able to talk about it because you talked to people who knew and they gave you specific information. And a lot of people, I kid you not, make a ton of money doing this exact thing. So let's look at some resources now. Again, I told you Skype.com. Go there, download it. If you haven't used it, Skype is an excellent tool. It's also a chat program, so not just talking. EzineArticles.com. Go there. I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and pull that up. This is a great tool for a number of things. Let me get maximum viewability in here, if that's a real word. Let's do this. Let's do our theme, horse. Or no, our theme is guitar, isn't it? Anyhow, a bunch of stuff in here about horse, learn horse riding, horse behavior, young horse training. I could do guitar too. The thing that's critical here is history of the bass, online guitar lessons, play guitar the right way, a message for beginners. Let's click on this and just see what it is. And the important part here that I want to show you, there's the word count. This is great. A lot of times, this is even a good way to get content itself just from these articles. Read the article and retype it yourself. I'm not talking about plagiarism. I'm talking about reading it and then restate it. Restate that article yourself. And if you go through here, maybe the person who did this, maybe, you know, this is if you got time and you want to do it yourself. Maybe they've got several articles here. You can go through there and you can compile a bunch of information. But, okay, they've got a link to themselves, and that's pretty much the contact information that is available. A lot of times they have a little box that has additional contact information. Let's click on the link here that gives us a little bit of information about him and see if it takes us to, we got his bio and other articles that he's written. Okay, so he's written a ton of articles, and probably he's doing this to funnel traffic to his website. So that's one thing, honestly, you do got to watch for. Some of these people, they're doing marketing, especially in article sites like this. They're doing marketing, so they might not be, you know, just chomping at the bit to let you interview them. That's why you kind of got to be careful the way that you do it. You don't necessarily come to them and say, hey, I'm going to create a PDF. I'm going to make an ebook on how to play the guitar. You just say, hey, I'm conducting an interview, and I'd like to interview you for an article that I'm putting together or whatever, something like that. So anyhow, that is EzineArticles.com. Again, that's a great source also for product ideas. See what kind of stuff people are putting there. And then Pamela Systems, this is the plugin for Skype that allows you to do recording. So in summary, let's go ahead and do our action steps first, and then I'll summarize everything. What I want you to do is locate 5 experts in whatever the selected niche is that you've got. Contact them about an interview. You can try to email them or whatever contact information you get there. Tell them what you'd like to do. You want to interview them, ask them some questions, and then do your research, get those questions together, get them all written down, or any topics that you want to discuss with them, and then just conduct the interviews. It's as simple as that. Okay? And this will be successful. The reason is, anything that people are interested in, if there is somebody that knows a little more than the next man, then that's all you need. Literally, like I said about the articles, reading those articles, if somebody doesn't know, people are lazy, okay? And if somebody doesn't know how to do something, but they're interested in doing it, they don't really want to spend a whole lot of time looking around. They don't want to spend a lot of time reading necessarily, digging through stuff. So if you'll dig through that stuff for them and give them the gold, then they're going to give you some gold, and that is in the form of money. So if you read those articles and, you really know more than a beginner, somebody who doesn't know anything. So you can put that together, and that is a product that you can sell. Now, I am not advocating, plagiarizing off of people's stuff. I'm not advocating putting junk out there and trying to sell it to people. I don't push that. But if you read some material or if you watch a training video and you learn something, that's the way we all learn. So if you take that and, plagiarism is when you see an article and you change the author's name and you change it to your name and then you publish it again. That's plagiarism. Okay. If you read an article and you learn something and then you write your own article that basically has the same theme, the same information, that's not plagiarism. I do want to stress, though, that the quickest and the best quality stuff that you're going to get is if you can get a hold of an industry expert and interview them. Plus, you'll have that audio clip if you record that, and that is something in and of itself. It's better because let's say you record the conversation, you can sell the conversation, and then you can have it transcribed and give away a bonus ebook, if they want to just read about it or something. Or you can do it the other way. You can create it, have it transcribed, and sell the ebook, and then give them a bonus audio clip that has the entire conversation, audio. Also, let's not forget, let's say that you record and it's not the best quality because there's some noise in the background. You can take your MP3 player or do it via Skype, whatever, record the entire conversation, have it transcribed, and then you can reread it again, or you can kind of rearrange the information and then reread it, because a lot of people are, again, lazy. So some people like to read ebooks. Some people like to hear it. So if you offer both of those, resources, then a lot of times that'll really push people over the edge and make them make that final decision. So if you can provide it in text, and you can also provide it in audio, and then of course we have video, which we're going to talk about later on. But this is how we get our content. So now I've taken you from not having any idea what you want to do, what you want to sell. We've gone through and we've qualified the niche that we're going to work with right now. We've made a decision on what specific product we're going to create within that niche. And now we know how we can go about obtaining information if it is not something that we're familiar with. Again, if it is something you're familiar with, that's all the better, because you can do most of this stuff yourself without getting somebody else involved. And now what we want to do next is talk about how you actually, produce it, how do you actually create the content, and we'll look at the different formats that can be created and how you'll deliver your very own information product. Now, this is one of the funnest parts of the training for me, because I am totally into audio, and this is where we actually, learn how to do some hands-on stuff, some stuff that probably most of you really aren't aware that you can even do. What we're talking about here is actually creating an audio product. You're going to do this whether you do an interview and you record somebody, and by the way, you can record yourself. Have a friend come over and write down the questions for them and tell them to ask you the questions. Make it, like a mock interview. Or maybe you're going to take some existing content that you've reworked, that you have in print, and you're going to read it and create that and sell it as an audio product. Because like I said, people today are lazy. If you want to create an information product that is going to have some impact and punch and demand the most money, it's going to be audio or video, because that's kind of where things are going today. What we're going to talk about in this module here is a program called Audacity. And the reason that we're going to use Audacity is because I am minded to try to help people that don't have the money to invest maybe in a high-end application, or maybe this is just something that they're going to do every once in a while, and they don't necessarily want to go out and actually purchase a program when they're only going to do it once in a while. Audacity is just that. It's a free audio editor. It's very powerful. So just because it's free does not mean that it doesn't have a lot of features, because it definitely has more features than you're probably going to use. We're going to look at recording and editing your interview. And I just want to put kind of a disclaimer here. This entire chapter, this module right here, is on audio. I could make like a 4-hour training just on Audacity. So this is going to be somewhat of a fast-paced training here. We're obviously not going to get into everything. We're just going to look at the basics. I want to show you how to make a recording, do some basic editing to it, and then save it, and you'll have something that you can, go out and produce. Then we're going to look at choosing an audio delivery format. In other words, how do we want to save that file? Lots of different formats. We're going to talk about audio transcriptions for articles and blogs. That's basically where you go Again, find an article, repurpose it, kind of, learn the content, rewrite your own article, and then record it. Offer that as either the main product or as a bonus. And for those of you that are into affiliate sales, you know what is very popular that's going to put you above some other people? Let's say you're going to do an affiliate, you're going to JV with somebody that has an ebook. Take the ebook and read it. Record you're reading it. And if you do that and then offer it as a bonus to, just tell people, if you buy this ebook through my affiliate link, then I'm going to also send you this CD or a download of the MP3 or whatever. And a lot of people, they'll go for that because they don't want to sit down and, read everything. They would really like to be able to just maybe dump it on their iPod and listen to it while they're riding their bike or something. So that's another way you can make money, just kind of as a side note there. And then I want to show you how to create PDFs, again, as a bonus. We're not going to go through the whole process because it's really self-explanatory and easy. I just want to tell you, I just want to give you some resource links and just let you know about the idea because, again, it's very simple. Then I've got a list of resources at the end and some more action steps for you. Here's the resources that we're going to be visiting. This is going to be the reason that I like this module is because this is hands-on. I'm going to actually show you how to do all this. eScriptionist, I'll go ahead and talk about these before we get into the hands-on. eScriptionist is a site that you can go to and get audio transcribed. So let's say you went and did an interview and you want to get that interview, maybe it's an hour long, you want to get that converted into a regular, like a Word document or something. And you don't want to sit there because really it's going to take you a long time if you sit there and try to type that out. You can do it yourself, but it's actually extremely affordable to have these people do it for you. If you're not in a hurry and you can, wait 3 to 5 days, they'll literally get it back to you for like $1.50 a minute. And that is more, the time it would take me to do that is way more valuable than the money spent to these people. So that's a good resource. Elance.com, Guru.com. You can also, check them out. You can post jobs about transcribing. I see that kind of stuff on there all the time. The download link for Audacity is right here. Okay, sourceforge.net/download/Windows. And again, Audacity and the PDF creator that I'm linking you to here, those are both free. These are open source applications, which means they're absolutely free. Here's the link for Audacity. You're going to click Audacity 1.2. Whatever the current version is when you actually see this. You'll click the installer there. And then you'll go ahead and go through the installation process. I've already done that, so I'm not going to repeat it. Let's go ahead and find it on the desktop. That's the installation file. It's a pretty straightforward installation, not going to make you watch it. But when you're all done, you'll get an icon like this. And what I'm going to do, this is the first time that I've run it since the new installation. To resize it, I'm going to make sure that I've got my appropriate audio device. For most of you, it's going to just work from the very beginning. But I've got some specialty equipment installed in here. Okay, so that should be pretty good. I'm going to pull up, I didn't do any research on this, I confess. Search for the word horse, and let's just do a Wikipedia. And all that I'm going to do is read this. I'm going to drag it off screen here. And I got it kind of for sample content just so you can see what's going on. We click the record button right there. See the little waveform? That is me recording. And if I stop talking, see how it gets flat right there? And then when I start talking, it does it again. You just want to make sure that your recording levels are right about where you're seeing this, about -12. Mine could be a little bit higher, but you can actually fix that later on. You don't want them to be constantly peaking out because they'll get distorted. And you don't want them being, really quiet. You don't want them being down low like that, okay? So you want to get them where they're pretty good. So adjust your volume right here. You can use this slider to adjust your volume. And now I'm going to go ahead And I'm kind of rambling on here because I want to get a good bit of time so that you see how to do this. This is the recording part. You probably won't be recording in Audacity unless you have the person that you're interviewing actually come to your house, or if you got your laptop, you could do it that way too. Or if you're doing the recording yourself, you're probably going to use like Skype and Pamela if you're going to do the call. But if you're going to sit down and convert something yourself into audio, like maybe an ebook or you repurposed an article or something like that, then that is where you would actually do the recording yourself. So I'm just going to read this article on horses. We'll just read a couple of paragraphs, maybe just one. The horse is a large, odd-toed, ungulate mammal. I don't know if ungulate is the right way to say that, but I messed up. Sometimes I mess up like this because it's good for you to see that while you're recording stuff like this, it's okay to mess up. You're going to go back and you're going to edit it out, and you can make a finished product that is, pretty professional. So let's go ahead and continue. One of 10 living species of the family Equidae. Now, I seriously don't know if that's the right pronunciation, so forgive me, horse lovers, if you're out there. For centuries, horses have been one of the most economically important domesticated animals, especially relied upon for farm work and for transportation. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop right there because this is just for demonstration purposes. We click the stop button. All of these little buttons up here are, pretty straightforward as far as they're just like tape decks. Stop, pause, play, record, rewind, fast forward, that kind of stuff. But what we'll do here is go back to the beginning. Click there to reposition the playhead and click play. Now, you're not going to actually hear the audio that I hear because I'm talking into a microphone and the microphone's not going to pick up the speakers. But you can see the waveform moving as it plays. Okay. What you're going to do is go through here and find, I happen to know, I started doing the horse article. Much later here. Okay, still a little more. Let's try right here. Okay, here it comes. Right there. Okay, so this is where I started the actual article. What I'm going to do is click there and do Shift Home and then hit the delete button. That selects everything from where I clicked to the beginning of the file. I hit the delete button and it's gone. So I've shortened that file quite a bit. And then what I'm going to do, I'll tell you what, I'm going to crank this volume up on my speakers so that maybe you can hear a little bit of it. The horse is a large, odd-toed, ungulate mammal. I don't know if ungulate is the right way to say that, but okay, so I cranked that up quite a bit, so now you can hear what's going on, because what I want you to see is when you make mistakes, here's how you deal with it. Let's listen to it again. Mammal. I don't know if ungulate is the right way to say that, but I messed up sometimes I mess up like this because it's good for you to see that while you're recording stuff like this, it's okay to mess up. You're going to go back and you're going to edit it out, and you can make a finished product that is, pretty professional. So let's go ahead and continue. One of 10 living. Okay, from right there, it's actually pretty far out there. So I'm going to zoom out, a little zoom out button right here. And let's find our beginning spot again. But I messed up ungulate mammal. I don't know if ungulate is the right way to say that, but I messed up. Okay, so we're going to go select that area that we want to cut out, hit the delete button, and then we'll zoom back in. Odd-toed ungulate mammal. Okay, and I'm going to take a little bit more silence there. By the way, you can play and stop the recorder, the playhead, with the space bar. So a lot of times I click and I hit space. Mammal. One of 10 living species of the family. Okay, and here's where I couldn't pronounce the word. Equidae. Now, that is a seriously weird word. So let's go ahead. Again, select it, hit delete. And then we back up and listen to the whole segment, the transition there.
Species of the family Equidae. Now, I seriously don't know if that...
Okay, let's back up.
Species of the family Equidae. Now, I seriously don't know if that's the right pronunciation, so forgive me, horse lovers, if you're out there. For centuries.
Okay, so we're going to click and drag. And you got to kind of just watch where you're wanting to go to. And let's listen.
Family Equidae. For centuries, horses have...
Now, it sounds like a little bit too sudden. So a couple ways I could deal with this. I can do Control-Z to undo the cut. And then maybe reposition things. Let's back up a little bit. So we're going from here. Let's give it a little bit more space. Just kind of click and drag those ends. And delete. Give it a little bit more
Family
space.
Equidae. For centuries, horses have been one of the most economically important domesticated animals, especially relied upon for farm work and for transportation. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop right there.
All right, so we'll go ahead and click there. Click and shift. Click and drag and do a delete there. And now we have got, a complete audio file. Obviously, you're going to record something probably much longer than that. Another thing that you might want to do, though, is process the audio, because a lot of times what we get is people record stuff and the volume's not good, or there's noise in the background, things like that. And I want to show you a little bit how to deal with that. First thing you can do is if there is noise. I got a pretty flat line here. That means there's not really a lot of noise. But if you did have noise, you can click and drag and select like an area that's supposed to be silent. In other words, nobody's talking, but maybe you've got a fan in the background blowing, okay, and it's making some noise. You can select it like that. Click Effect, Noise Removal, and then Get Noise Profile. That'll take that pattern there, if maybe it's a fan, for example, and that'll take it and create a pattern out of it. And then you can zoom out, select everything, and then go back to noise removal again, and this time do a preview.
The horse is a large, odd-toed,
Okay, that sounds pretty good. We'll click Remove Noise. That'll go through the whole file and remove that noise, even in the portions where you are talking, so it lessens it quite a bit. And then another thing we want to do is raise the volume up here a little bit. So we'll go to Effect, Amplify. Again, this is one of those areas where this is why I could do 4 hours of training on Audacity, which, by the way, Jeremy and I are launching a site that is geared towards specifically things just like that, advanced training on applications that internet marketers use. And I'm going to give you the link to that later on. But notice my wave file here is pretty small in comparison to the area that is around it. So I want to pump up the volume a little bit. So I'm going to take this slider. Now what we're going to do is you have to watch. See where it says New Peak Amplitude? The peak is the loudest sound that's in the file. You want to keep that away from 0. You can't go past 0 with that because it'll get distorted. So I'm going to back off on it just a little bit and click OK. And you're going to see all of that get much louder now. And now when we listen to it.
A horse is a large, odd-toed, ungulate mammal, one of 10 living species.
Okay, that's great. So the next step for us is how do we want to deliver this? Really, this is something that we are going to address later on with product fulfillment. You could do this as a download, and in that case, you'd probably want to do an MP3. You could do it as if you're going to burn an actual CD and ship it out to them. Then you probably want to save it as a WAV file. But those two formats, those are going to be the most popular. Now, with Audacity, there is an option here to export as MP3, and there's one to export as a WAV. There's also this format down here. And if you do, by the way, with Audacity, there's no real save, as in saving the file as a format. If you click Save, you're saving the project, and then this file will have a very proprietary format just for Audacity. No other programs use it. So you can reopen it and you can listen to it later, but if you want to get it in a format that you're going to share it, you have to do an export. So again, here's the two options that you're going to focus on. WAV would be, if you're going to burn it to a CD, WAV is uncompressed, and that's the best quality. If you're going to make it a download, then you want to do it as an MP3. So we're going to click Export as MP3. And again, we'll call this Horse. We've got some options. We can fill out all of this information if you want to, title, artist, album, and then click OK. And there we go. Now, if we were to grab the horse.mp3 file that I just created, I can double click that. I think it's going to play in iTunes. Oh, media player.
The horse is a large, odd-toed, ungulate mammal, one of 10 living species of the family Equidae. For centuries, horses have been one of the most...
Okay, so we know that works. So now we have created an MP3 file. The next step to this is, again, you would upload that to your server and then whatever your delivery options for getting that. But the next option that I want to talk about is taking something like an audio file and converting it into a PDF. Because what we'll typically do, and again, this is mentioned primarily as a bonus. So you might have either an actual, like an audio file of an interview, or maybe you recorded something and then you throw in a PDF as a bonus. Or maybe you created the PDF and then you want to do a recording and give that away as a bonus. But the thing is, you're going to go to sourceforge.net/projects/PDF creator/, and that is just a simple application that will allow you to use basically any Windows program. And you can print to this PDF creator and it'll create a PDF out of it. So you don't have to go to Adobe. You don't have to pay a lot of money to get a PDF created. You can use this free program and it's very simple to use. So what we have done, we downloaded Audacity. I showed you how to do a recording and do some basic editing. Make changes to the file, remove noise, and adjust the volume. Those are the things that you need to focus on. So what I want you to do now is go ahead and grab Audacity and then do a mock recording. What you need to do, if you don't have content already, just find somebody's blog, maybe that you already subscribe to. Go to eZine Articles and find an article in your niche, just for the practice, and just read that into Audacity while you're recording. Go back and edit it. You're going to gain the experience, okay? And you'll make sure that you have those basic steps down. And then after you edit it, save it as an MP3, export it as an MP3, I should say. And then you're all set. You've got the technical aspects of delivering an audio file basically taken care of. And like I said, if you want some more in-depth audio training on not only Audacity, but also programs like Soundbooth and Adobe Audition and things like that, then again, wait till the very end, the last video. I've got some resources there, and I want to show you a fantastic site that's going to teach you all of that and more. In our next video, we're going to look at creating some video-based information products, and video is hot, so stay tuned. What we're going to look at in this video is more like an idea of creating the product. I'm not going to actually show you how to do it because honestly, this is pretty in-depth, and you want to get some in-depth training to do something like this. But I will give you the idea, and I'll tell you some basic tools that you need. Video is hot. There's no arguing about that. I probably don't even need to prove it to you because video is everywhere that we look on the internet. Check out YouTube. Check out Google Video. Video is just totally hot. And that is the preferred method, really, of training people, of giving them some information. Like, for example, the video you're watching right now. This is the kind of thing that we're talking about. Creating a product like this is very simple, but you just need some specific tools in order to pull it off. And I'm going to show you some paid tools and some free tools in this. So we're going to talk about video in this video, and we're going to look at PowerPoint, one of the most popular presentation programs. In fact, I'm using PowerPoint to create this video. And we're going to talk about Camtasia. Both of these are paid applications. I do have, again, some free ones. PowerPoint does the presentation. Camtasia records the presentation and the audio narration and then you play that back later on. And then I've got a list of resources and, of course, some action steps. I've got one more video after this, and then we're going to basically be wrapped up. Now, I can't show you PowerPoint, and I can't show you Camtasia in action right now. So what we're going to do is kind of talk about what kind of video you would do, and I'll tell you about the process flow of it, and I'll tell you where those different applications come into play. Like I said earlier, you create a video. Video is a preferred content method. A lot of people like video. They want to pop something in. They want to see it. They want to hear you talk to them, and they want to see how you actually do it. And that's the kind of training that we're talking about here. You can, in fact, let's say that you had an ebook, maybe that you wrote already, or you checked out some articles and you compiled your own nice ebook. You can actually turn that into a video training. You do that by going through with PowerPoint, and you take your highlighted points and you put those in there, and then you talk about those points. You can include some fancy graphics. You can do all that kind of stuff. And this is actually how I make a good portion of my living. I have clients that give me content. They've created some content and they have me convert it into a video. You can make a lot of money doing that. But you, if you want to, create stuff for yourself, you can save yourself a lot of money by doing it yourself. You do it with PowerPoint. That's how you create the presentation. And then while you're giving the presentation, you record it with Camtasia. Camtasia is a program that's made by TechSmith, and it allows you to record the screen, record the audio, and then go in and edit and produce that in a specified format. And the reason it's very convenient is because today, having things available online, it's good that the video files can take up a lot of space. So it's good that you can produce that video in different formats that are a little more friendly to the internet. One of those is Flash. Flash is probably the most compatible format for videos out there. Like 90% of all computers on the internet have Flash installed and will be able to watch your content. And the Flash files are a lot smaller than regular video files. And, the quality still looks pretty good. So you create a presentation in PowerPoint. You record it with Camtasia. Camtasia also allows you to do video capture. So if you've got a webcam or another kind of video camera you can hook up to your computer, you can capture that. So you can do like a talking head where you're actually talking to them. You can even create the whole training with the video camera and forget the PowerPoint stuff. Okay, so let's say you wanted to do guitar and you wanted to teach people how to play guitar. You can get your video camera, set it up. It'll record the audio and the video. And you can tell them, here's how you do this, and show them, and you can sell that training. So video is really big. Let's take a look at the resources here. PowerPoint and Camtasia are both a little more complicated than Audacity. So I'm not even going to tackle showing you how to actually use them because, like I said, I could do a 4-hour course on each one of those easily. If, though, both of those applications you got to purchase, you can go to Microsoft.com for PowerPoint. You can also Google PowerPoint, check out eBay. You can get an older version of it. You can go to TechSmith.com to get Camtasia. However, a very similar version is at camstudio.org. This is sponsored by Camtasia, or by TechSmith, sorry. TechSmith is the actual company that produces Camtasia. Camtasia is the product that they're making. But camstudio.org is sponsored by TechSmith, and it's a free version of a screen capture utility. It's not as extensive as Camtasia is, but nevertheless, it does give you the features that you need, to create something like that. And then if you don't want to buy PowerPoint or Microsoft Office, you can go to download.openoffice.org. OpenOffice is an open source Office application, and it includes actually a suite. It includes a word processor, a spreadsheet, and a presentation. The presentation, I think, is called Impress, something like that. But that's the same kind of program as PowerPoint, except that it's free. So you can do the same kind of stuff. You can create a presentation. You can put graphics in there. You can have your bullet points, all the same kind of stuff that you're seeing here. Okay, so action steps for this module is to download and install PowerPoint. By the way, Microsoft does offer a free trial of PowerPoint. So if you want to kind of get your hands dirty without committing to the purchase, you can actually go in. There have been people that go in, They learn how to use PowerPoint. They download the free trial, create their content, record it, sell it, and then they're making enough money that they can justify purchasing PowerPoint, which is not a very, it's not a cheap program. But literally, I mean, you can do that very quickly. You can get up and running in PowerPoint fairly quickly with the basics. And then I want you to, after you install it, create a presentation from an article. Go to ezinearticles.com, find an article there that's related to your niche. And this is not something, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time picking the perfect article, because this is just going to be you selecting something to just kind of get your feet wet, basically. So pick something in your niche that, something related to your product. Get that article, make your own presentation from that, and then download and install Camtasia. They also offer a free trial. So you've got like 30 days on each one of these that you can use them for free. If you don't want to use Camtasia, remember the alternative there, camstudio.org. Give that presentation and record it, and then edit it and produce it as Flash. I want you to actually do these steps, because the only way that you're going to be successful is by motivating yourself enough to the point that you actually do. Okay, I'm going to tell you, one of the biggest secrets in internet marketing is not so much the tricks. I mean, the tricks are good to know. The tricks are helpful. But the big secret is motivation. You actually doing it. You are the secret. And that's what the difference is between the real internet marketers and the wannabes. So you're going to download the software, you're going to create an article, record it, and then produce it as Flash. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is your first try. You're just getting used to it. But once you've got that done, you should have an MP3 file that we created in the last video, possibly a PDF if you wanted to do that, and then also a short video. And these are going to be actual, legitimate items that relate some type of knowledge, and that's what an information product is. In the next video, we're going to look at product fulfillment and how you're going to deliver these items to your customers. For our last video, we're going to take a brief look at product fulfillment. Once you've got that information product created, whether it's a PDF or it's an audio clip or it's a video, you got to sell it, right? And you got to sell it and deliver it to the client. So that's what we're going to talk about, is how you go about delivering it. We're going to discuss doing the process yourself. And this is, not only information products that are downloaded, but also if you actually make a report or put it on a CD or something like that. And then I'm going to show you some fulfillment companies that'll take care of doing all of that for you. We'll look at CD download and membership options. These are different ways that you can get the content delivered. I've got some resources for you, and of course, some action steps. Now, I'm sure that you're aware that something like this, this is not something that we can fully investigate in 20 or 30 minutes. But what I do want to do is give you kind of an overview of the process. And of course, you're going to have to look into some things on your own to actually get it done. But this will at least get you, pointed in the right direction. Delivering your content, you're going to basically do it two different ways. Either it's downloaded or it's a physical product. So an information product can be something that, is something physical, a report that is actually printed, or a book really is an information product. A CD, an audio CD that people listen to, a DVD that's got video on it. That's all information products, but the key here is that whatever the product is, that it is also deliverable via download. So it's a digitally deliverable product. And I want to talk just for a minute about the pros and cons of both of these. With a downloadable product, obviously there is no physical cost. All you have to do is you put the product on your server, people are going to buy it and they can download it. There's not really any cost involved in that. So that's good. At the same time, though, people tend to attribute lower value to these kinds of products. And I really don't know why, because, there is a lot of junky, 15-page ebooks out there that people are trying to sell. But for the most part, they're just as good as the physical version. It's just that you get it instantly. So that's another benefit also, is that you can, the customer gets to download the product instantly. With a physical product, there's a delay of delivery, okay? But they do perceive that with a much higher value than a downloadable product. For whatever reason, believe it or not, people will prefer a physical product, and you can charge more than the same product delivered digitally. So, for example, let's say that you had an audio file that gave training on, on horse training or how to take care of a horse or something like that. You might be able to sell it digitally for $35, where they can download it and they can listen to it. They can put it on their iPod, whatever. You might be able to sell that whole thing as a course. Maybe it's like 4 CDs or something. You might be able to sell that for $65 or even more if it's a physical product and you get it made nice and gets delivered. One thing about that, if you want to create physical products, this is a vision that Jeremy has with a lot of his stuff. You'll see that he goes all out to create something that is really nice looking, and that's because people, if they see that, it has a higher perceived value to them. So you don't want to just take a CD. I've heard of people that they'll try to sell something online, and it's a physical product, and they'll have nice pictures and stuff, but then when you actually buy it, what you actually get is like a DVD, handwritten, on the cover of it with a little slimline case, and that's it. That's going to make people upset. Okay, so if you're going to go physical product, then you want to get it done nice. Now, for the digital delivery portion of this is a great, simple technique. There are other ways that you can do this, but a simple way to get you up and running really quick is to use Google's thank you page for your delivery. And what Jeremy did is I talked to him about this, and he said, you know what, Ken, just give them a sample product, and that's actually included with the training that you've got right now. You've got an actual PLR product, private label rights. You can do with it, whatever you want. As a matter of fact, you can create an audio file out of it, an audio book, and there's even an example of that with the product. You can create a video training out of the content of it, whatever you want to do. And he also said, go ahead and include the thank you page. So you're going to get a sample thank you page. What you do is you put that page on your server, and it has a link to where they can download the product. Then you create a button in PayPal where they can purchase your product. Then after they purchase, Google directs them to your thank you page, which you specified. That thank you page is where they'll go and download the product. Okay, so that's a simple, inexpensive delivery option. There are others. If you want, you can Google, digital delivery or something like that, and there's tons of options there available for you. Okay, now let's talk about the different methods for delivering the different types of content. For an ebook, we can create a PDF, and that is, of course, going to be downloaded, or you can take that and get it printed, and then you'll actually have to mail it to them physically. But again, a lot of people like that. They want, I mean, me in particular, I hate PDFs. I'll read them if I have to, but I prefer, a real physical piece of paper that I can hold and read, and that I can mark up and stuff like that. Go to Staples or Kinko's. You can get those done fairly inexpensively, especially if you get a lot of them done. They'll usually work you out a deal. And remember, with a physical report, you might be able to charge them a little bit more for that. For audio, we've got an MP3 download or a real physical CD. Same thing applies. You'll charge less for the MP3 than you will for physical CDs that you send out. Now with this, I'm going to give you some resources here at the end of the video to get those CDs done for you, because remember, you don't want to do like a handwritten CD and ship them that out. You want to get something nice made. Now today you can go out and you can get a nice printer that'll print right on the CD, and that's acceptable. Even if you do, I'd say labels is kind of borderline, but if you can get a CD printer that'll print, right on the CD, that's okay. Another option here is video, and what I suggest with that is convert the video to Flash if you're going to make it downloadable or viewable on the web. If not, put it on a DVD. Now, here's the reason for this. Even if it's not a lot of video, let's say it's a 30-minute video and it would easily fit on a CD. To raise the perceived value of it, you want to put it on a DVD, because for some reason in everybody's mind, DVDs are more expensive. So it's gonna cost you, maybe $1 more, but it's definitely worth it because you're gonna get to charge more. Later on, we're gonna look at some fulfillment companies. I'm gonna give you some URLs. What a fulfillment company is an outfit that will master the CD. They'll create, they'll copy the files onto it. They'll print it. They'll put it in a package and everything. And they will even deliver it for you. You can tell them, you can send them a note to ship it out to somebody and give them a specific address. Usually what they do is they make you purchase like maybe 500 CDs. So they make them all for you. They store them on a shelf. As you send them a message, mail it to here, mail it to there, whatever, they'll go grab one and they'll ship it out for you. Or if you don't want to pay for that service, you can have them just make you 500 of them and you can put them in your storage closet, right? And then when somebody buys something, you ship it out. Now, the other thing I want to mention here, I mentioned in the overview is CD download and membership. And the reason that I did it like that is because it basically covers 3 different ways that you can deliver the content. CD would be, physical delivery. Download is obviously, something digital. And then there's membership. The difference between download and a membership, and this is completely up to you, but with a download, you're going to give them a link where they can go ahead and download the content. Then it resides on their computer and they can look at it whenever they want to. What a lot of people are doing nowadays is setting up a membership site. And when somebody buys your information product, you just give them access to the membership site. And the reason for that is maybe you've got audio or video files that you don't want them to really have access to as far as permanently. Maybe you're going to give them, access for life or even for just a year, whatever. But for whatever reason, you don't want them to download it because you don't want them to be able to resell it or, whatever. So what they do is set up a membership site and then give people access to that membership site. When they log in, they'll be able to click a link there that plays the video right in their browser. So let's go ahead and take a look at some resources now. Discmakers.com. This is one that I use a lot. They create, they create the whole CD. They create the packaging. They can do everything for you. If you don't have a graphics person, they can do all that stuff for you too, or you can upload graphics to them. CD Master Copy and Mixed Media Direct, they both do the same kind of stuff. Mixed Media Direct also does some printing for you. If you're looking for content ideas, if you're looking for products that you want to get really quick, an inexpensive way to do this is to use PLR, which is Private Label Rights products. Check out Naked PLR. This is an excellent site for obtaining that very thing. What you get is the raw content. You don't get the fancy graphics. You get the raw content, and then you're going to go, and based on that content, you create something. So let's say you don't really have an idea. Maybe you know the niche that you want to get into. Maybe you don't even know the niche. You just want something to sell. Go to Naked PLR, sign up, get a PLR package. And again, Jeremy is including one here with this training. You're going to have a PLR package that you can do this very thing with. You've got the content. All you have to do is figure out some way to present that in a unique way. For example, create a video training out of it or read it. Just read it and create an audio file from it. So nakedplr.com is one. Source Code Goldmine, that is another one. You can go there, you buy that, and you get like 10 packages, 10 different products that you can do this very same thing with. And if you want to get some more in-depth training, and I do mean very in-depth on using specific applications like PowerPoint and Flash and all that kind of stuff, and some more in-depth internet marketing techniques, go to netmarketing.tv, go to /special guest, and you're going to get, this is a special deal that's been worked out. You can sign up there at a discount. So that is it. The next thing, the last slide that I've got for you is the action step. And guess what it is? There's only one action step on the next slide. Just do it. Okay, remember the secret to being successful as an internet marketer. All of this stuff that we've talked about, creating an information product. Anybody can do this. Just follow the steps and just do it. The secret to being successful is do it. The secret is you. Make the commitment and say, okay, I'm gonna go do this. Start at the beginning, go through every step, and you'll be a success.